even though, this is important, Yankee, Facebook will not let you target that at a really small area. It will force you to do a 15-mile radius. It doesn't matter, folks. That's what I'm here to tell you. It does not matter as long as you are really specific in that headline, what neighborhood, what municipality, what city, what part of town you are advertising.
So I'm excited about this. We've got quite a few participants coming on. Everybody tell us where you're from. I'm totally excited about this. Let's see. I'm opening up the chat, trying to see where everybody is from. Welcome, everybody. It's been a while since I've been on, and just sorry about that, but we've got Debbie from San Antonio. Welcome, Debbie. We've got Charlotte, North Carolina. We've got Washington, D.C., Charlottesville. My God, Gus, look at all these people coming in. This is so awesome. This is cool. I am totally excited about this. Los Angeles, Baltimore, Cerritos, Fort Wayne. Welcome, everybody from the LCA team here. We want to welcome everybody, and we want to encourage everyone to actually hang on, because we've got some great information for you from PowerISA. We're doing top Facebook campaigns for real estate working that is working really well everywhere. And PowerISA, let me tell you a little bit about Gus and PowerISA. I'm so excited about it. I'm like so excited that I'm talking so fast. But PowerISA manages hundreds of campaigns across the nation and of course, the US and Canada, and really know their stuff. They're so amazing, guys. I have to tell you, I speak from a little bit of experience, which I will share as well with you guys. Learn how to set up your own successful Facebook campaigns. Thank you so much, Gus, for real estate. Now let's talk a little bit about who Gus is, the industry experts in real estate's ISA. His company, PowerISA, has trained teams added to your real estate team, ISA team across the nation. And Gus, I don't know what more to say about you. You are the CEO of PowerISA. Take it away and welcome to this awesome webinar we're hosting today.
Yeah, thank you so much, Yankee. I appreciate it. Love being on these webinars, love adding value, and I know Facebook is always a hot topic. People want to know, okay, everyone knows Facebook is useful, Facebook works, particularly Facebook ads. I would love, maybe the next webinar, we should do Facebook strategies that aren't ads. Because I think Facebook has so many facets. So Tessa, put that one down. How to get massive amounts of deals on Facebook without paying for ads. I would love, actually, I do a lot of that myself. So this one is about Facebook ad campaigns, running ads on Facebook. And the reason people run ads on Facebook is because you want to get that immediate business. That is so Facebook, like Google pay-per-click, Facebook pay-per-click, LinkedIn pay-per-click, they will get you leads basically as soon as you turn on the campaign. It's a pretty kind of a magical process. That's why people love them. That's why people want to use them. There's more and more ways to get your ads on Facebook nowadays. A lot of the CRMs have posting tools. I remember Real Geeks CRM was one of the first ones to generate this automatic Facebook posting tool. Now a lot of the CRMs have that. A lot of them offer to help you run your ads. There's many, many ways to get your ads on Facebook. But a lot of times people are saying, okay, Gus, what should I run? Right? Okay, great. That's great. I think I can figure this out. I get it. But what should my ads say? What should I do to get the kind of conversion rates that you talk about? Because the campaigns I'm going to talk about today are getting 25, 30, above 30% conversion to appointment, which is, okay, that's not any Facebook campaign. That's not any Facebook campaign. And we know, like you said, Yankee, you handle hundreds of these campaigns every single month. And the average across the US and Canada conversion to appointment is around 10%, right? That's a normal campaign. Like if I get up, I watch a few YouTube videos, I get an idea what to do, and I post my Facebook ad. I get 10 leads. If I'm diligent, I'm gonna get one of those to convert into an appointment within the next 30 days. If I only get 10, I just get 10, I should get an appointment, like right off the bat. So that's average. These campaigns I'm gonna talk about are doing something different, right? They're getting triple that, right? Essentially. So as an aggregate, pretty consistently. So I think it's pretty awesome. And there's a couple of new things we noticed in the last 30 days that wasn't the case like the last time we were here talking about these top campaigns. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that as well. But I think the number one thing folks need to understand, Facebook works, guys, right? Facebook works. This is not, hopefully I don't have to convince you this is an important lead source. And Facebook ads are the quickest, most immediate way to get people through the door, like talking to you, have conversations, have contacts. And we can go into a lot of detail on when should you turn on paid ads, right? That's a big topic. I think it's important.
Yeah, and timing, I think that is so important because again, it's all social media. We want to know about the timings of when to turn these ads on, and what is the cost per lead, or what is the amount that you have to put down, for these campaigns to really generate and give us some good leads. And I know you guys do an amazing job at that. Just to start off, right off the bat, right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And one of the things, we always want to make sure when we make these ads is that they're always solving someone's problem, right? They're speaking to the market need. They've got a great offer. And right. So, but here's one of the things out of these top campaigns in the last 30 days, the thing that struck me the most, Yankee, is the simplicity of the offer they have. Unbelievable, because we're always talking about zero down offers and VIP buyer program, off-market property lists, all these like really interesting off-the-wall things. And sometimes it's important to look at the data because you can always get lost in some of those things, right? Because a lot of times realtors kind of assume that people want listings. That's the number one need in the market, right? So I'm going to do single listing ads. That's going to kill it. That's going to be the best. And of the top, and actually not even the top, you measure the top 10 campaigns nationwide in the last 30 days, not a single one of them is a single listing ad, right? Not one of the top 10. And again, your mileage will vary. Always test this out in your local market. There's always a caveat. But as an aggregate, not a single one of these campaigns is a single listing ad, right? So that tells me, okay, people want to see homes, but just giving them one property isn't necessarily going to give you the maximum return.
Exactly.
It's not. It'll work, no doubt. People want to see homes. It can work. But if you want to see success past the immediate few leads that are going to come in, people are almost used to these properties being gone immediately. Like, yes, there's a single listing. Yeah, if you miss the offer date, if you miss the open house dates, whatever. I'm saying, listings come and listings go. They've almost moved past looking at in single listings from what we've seen, and they really want to see the homes lists. Homes lists dominated the top 10 the last 30 days. We didn't see a single ad that wasn't a homes list. In other months, we've seen new construction ads, lender-focused ads talking about programs or interest rates. We've seen this come and go. This last 30 days, absolutely not. 100% of the top 10 campaigns were specifically home list ads. And here's the crazy part, right? The simplicity of the offer. Almost all of these campaigns simply were homes lists starting at a certain price. I'll give you an example. If this is a campaign we're running in San Diego, it'd be San Diego homes for sale. Actually, I take it back. It's a little bit further, more local than that. And I think that's an important piece. So my first takeaway from looking at these campaigns is that they're not running at the county level. They're not running in populations that are 500,000, a million. In Facebook, you can set that targeting. I can target 1 million people. I have for my recruiting ads for ISAs in Mexico, I target 9 million people with some of my ads. 9 million people. So you can do the craziest targeting you want on Facebook, right? That's crazy. Not these ads. They're not targeting hundreds of thousands of people. They're actually focusing it down and targeting areas where they can narrow it down to about 100,000 people. And that can be easy to do if your market is small. That can be challenging if you're like in the San Diego, Los Angeles, Bay Area. You've got to go down to the town, right? The specific municipality, the city. We're not talking about San Diego. We're talking about maybe, La Mesa, right? California. We're talking about Otay Lakes, California, the smaller cities, not the massive ones. I see that was a pretty common thread across a lot of these ads.
So let me rewind back, Gus. What you're trying to say is make it as simple as possible and narrow your target base down to the city that you're talking about, right? So
yes, absolutely.
So your keywords would be new construction homes in Fremont, or San Diego homes for sale, or even Fremont homes for sale, something of that sort. Am I correct?
Yeah, and the keyword there is starting. La Mesa homes starting at, and I think that is that's kind of what sets people, that's the interest, that's the hook, Yankee.
So these
starting at, and you can put a really low price there.
And then starting at, whatever price it is, $1 million or whatever the price is, starting at blah, blah, blah. So keywords are important, you guys. So what you say in your title, right? That is going to be very important for someone to click that ad.
Am I correct? Absolutely. That title is unbelievably key. You want to make sure it's an attention-grabbing headline, a clickable headline. And again, one of those things just throws me off is the simplicity of these offers that I'm seeing work in the last 30 days. They're keeping it simple. The targeting is extra small. And they're saying, La Mesa home starting at 600,000. Here's the crazy thing. And this is like a real amount, by the way. That's a in this market, the median price is almost $1 million.
Right.
But there definitely are homes. They're advertising a homes list starting at 600,000. They may have one listing that starts at 600,000. The appointments we're setting for this campaign, the live transfer we're setting for this campaign, right. The price range is $1 million.
Yeah.
The price range is $1 million.
And,
right?
and that's the thing though, Gus, it's what conversation is your ISA having? You're just attracting those leads to click and send their information. And once the form is filled out, that's when your ISA picks up the phone and starts talking to them. And the key is that what they're saying in their script is going to be very important for them to make that conversion phone appointment or whatever, the live phone appointment or live transfer, whatever it is, correct?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%, right? So, and we're going through a few steps. We're talking about that hyper-local targeting. So you can use a local, it could be a neighborhood. If you're talking about like a New York City, this is a borough, no, I take it back. It's a neighborhood in a borough, right? It's actually really, really small. Even though, this is important, Yankee, Facebook will not let you target that at a really small area. It will force you to do a 15-mile radius. It doesn't matter, folks. That's what I'm here to tell you. It does not matter as long as you are really specific in that headline, what neighborhood, what municipality, what city, what part of town you are advertising, right? So Facebook is unbelievably good at helping the algorithm figure out who it should serve that ad to, the more specific you are. And that's what we're seeing. The algorithm, who knew? The algorithm does work. It does figure things out, even though you're actually really, really limited in the targeting you can do with real estate because of the special ads category and all that fun stuff, right? So that is unbelievably important. Like I said, the next step is what you just said, Yankee. Okay, lead comes in, right? Lead comes in, and what do you do with that? And that's the other part that just sets apart these campaigns. That's the other part. All of these campaigns have ISAs that are calling these leads. I mean, what does that mean? It means they're going to get called, they're going to get texted, they're going to get an instant response right away. And not just that, right? Because we know a good percentage are going to convert right away. But the long tail of conversion is the important thing. And that's where you're going to get the big return on investment with something like Facebook.
And here's another thing, Gus. One thing I've really noticed is speed to lead. That's what I tell my ISAs right now. Speed to lead matters, and that's where you come in. But I want to make this quick announcement. Check out Gus's company, PowerISA, and their special deal that they have right now, exclusively for LCA members, you guys, $100 off per month. Gus, that's something I need too. $100 per month for their dedicated ISA plans. Guys, you have to check it out. And $1 off of on cost per lead for both calling intensive and starter plans. $500 off for their new build your own ISA training program. I mean, this is so amazing. The link is right there in our chat box, you guys. And like I said, I have just started using PowerISA, and I'm so excited about that, Gus. I'm really looking forward to it. I know a couple of people have a question, so I'm going to dive right into it. I know Luann said, what ads do you run to target homeowners for listings?
Okay, that is an unbelievably good question, okay? Because that's what folk want to know. Hey, they need listings, So I'm going to answer the question, the best way to get listings from these top campaigns, from talking to the clients and the marketers. This is being 100% real from the highest performing campaigns. Yes. They are all buyer-focused campaigns because it is the most efficient lead to generate on Facebook. And they're going for the buyer sellers in those campaigns. Yes. That is just being 100%. I know folks want to find out the secret sauce to generate the listing appointments from these ads.
There is no secret sauce, guys. I think if and this is where I have been very, very successful in this also, is when you run buyer ads on Facebook, those sellers will automatically come because buyers who are looking to upgrade, buyers who are looking to downsize, buyers who are looking to move with their grandkids or whatever it might be, you're targeting those folks and they possibly might have a home to sell, right? And that's how we built our team as well. And this is these are great ads. So you don't necessarily need to target just doing listings. Hey, what is your home worth? Or any of those. Those are great ads, but main thing is target towards buyers. Your sellers will automatically follow because those are the buyers that need to sell. There's another question from Deb Love that says, explain.
Actually, Yankee, let me go back on that because I think it's such a really good question. I know everyone's asking that for the sellers. Here's the thing though with the buyer ads. This is tricky because we've seen that the buyers, they won't necessarily always tell you if they have a home to sell. They know you want to know. They absolutely understand that. If you want, and the moment they say they have a home to sell, you're going to be on them for the listing, right? So there can be some resistance. So the flow that we recommend is that you're asking that question. In our script, we're going to ask it at least 2 times, 2 different ways, right? Do you have a home to sell before you get the next one? Great. And when we're talking about down payment, do you need to sell previous property in order to get that down payment ready? Okay, great. So we're always trying to kind of tease it out of them. And when you're talking to them on the phone, at the very least on the phone the very first time, you want to make sure you're always asking that question as well. And we're always coming from value, from value. How do you add value to a buyer seller? Think about that, right? Because they are under a lot of stress. This is not easy to navigate this. I have a home to sell, yet I need that money to buy the next home, but that's not going to make me competitive. So what the heck do I do, right?
Right.
I'm
and
stuck.
They don't know you. They don't know you. So they're not going to just, they're not going to ravel everything off to you. You got to build that connection. You got to build that, build that relationship, obviously, with these people as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And be solution based. Oh yeah, I'm asking them whether you have a home to sell, Mr. Lead, because we make sure and we tackle that juggling both transactions and making sure you're not left without a home at the end of the day. Or we have a strategy to help our sellers be competitive in this market, especially if they need funds from the sale to buy in this market. Whether it's the same market or a different market, they might be moving to another city. They might not be sure they want to work with you to make that transaction happen. Folks, it doesn't matter. You want to find out whether they have a home to sell because that's your referral right there. You want to recommend, if you're moving to another area, let me recommend one of the top agents in that area to help you out, right? So these are the objections they already have in their head. If you come out guns blazing, addressing these objections ahead of time, you're going to find some of those buyer sellers because a lot of people were going to say, oh, most the leads I talk to, they're not selling anything. Like, guys, we're, again, nationally, 10% of those leads are going to have a home to sell, right? Or they're party to a real estate. Let me just say they're party to a real estate transaction. They might not even be their home. They are party of the real estate transaction that they need to have happen for that next move to happen, like in general. So if you're not seeing, and in some markets, it's above that. 20%, 30% of these buyers are actually buyer sellers. So you want to make sure you're giving them every opportunity to share that information with you. You're earning the right to have them share, open up. And the best way to do that we've seen is value, value, value. Kill them with value, right? Just tell them the reason they should talk to you, work with you, and figure that out. So always keep that in mind because that's a scripting issue for me, my personal opinion. You got to come ready for that. And you want to make sure if they give you any indication that they have a home to sell, that why you're the person they should talk to get that solved. Your team is the team to talk to get that solved, right? Make sure you've got that in your back pocket because a lot more of these buyer leads are actually buyer sellers than we know that we anticipate. And they might already have someone in mind for the listing. That's why they want to talk to you about that. A lot of people assume that they can't work with the same person for both things. And maybe you're in a state where they can't do that. Great. You have the solution for that anyway, right? Oh, I need to talk to the top listing agent in this area. You got to talk to them. I've already got someone. Have you signed anything yet? Not yet. Great. Then I need you to talk to them because you're going to, at the very least, you're going to look at some great ideas to sell your home. Worst case, how about that? You have 10 minutes today or tomorrow. You need to get in front of that potential seller. You got to get your foot in the door and then go and kill them with value and show them why you are the best agent or your teammate or your referral agent is the best person to jump in front of that listing. So unbelievably important that you approach these buyer leads that you do not know if they have a home to sell, and they might not trust you enough to tell you whether they have that or not.
Exactly. I think it's so important. I think we covered quite a bit of things here right now, Gus. We talked about keywords. We talked about why the title of the Facebook ad is going to be so important. Don't focus as much on the listings. Focus on the buyer, the listings. There are many buyers out there that are going to be moving up or want to move up. And when they click on such an ad, some of the things you said, 15-mile radius, specific in the headline, you could say, like, for example, over here we have a community called Parkmont. You can do Parkmont homes under 1.2 million. That is going to be so attractive, right? Be specific in your titles, like open house. If you have an open house, 123 Main Street, open house, right here, right now. I mean, I think it's going to be so important. The title, again, like I said, is going to be very, very important. Deb Love, shall we answer your question? She's asked, explain what is an ISA, or what an ISA is and does.
Great question. Teed it up. Thank you so much, Deborah.
Exactly. And that dives right into what we are here for. So
definitely. Yeah, absolutely. So, this is what we do. We provide this, but ISA is a role. I always tell folks, if you're a solo agent or if you have a team, there's an ISA role on your team. If you're the solo agent, you are the ISA. The same way, transaction coordinator, you administrative assistant. The ISA role stands for inside sales agent or inside sales associate. What does that mean? It means someone that's on your team, a role within your team, that their job is to sit down and hit the phone. And whether they might be doing outbound prospecting to generate new leads, they might be doing lead conversion. So they're following up with brand new inbound opportunities, trying to convert them to appointments, trying to hand them off to another agent. Or if you're the agent, you're trying to set an appointment to meet with you that day, that week, or setting up a follow-up with them. If they're not ready to go right away, which is a huge percentage of these leads are not going to meet with you right away. That's best case, 70% are not going to meet with you right away. Best case, Jackie. It's usually 80, 90% are not going to want to meet with you right away. What happens to that 90%? Most agents toss them. Most agents do not follow up with these leads at all in any significant way, right? And we've seen this, we measure this, that's just a fact. The agents that have follow-up systems to make sure that they squeeze every single resource out of those paid leads, they squeeze every single ROI dollar out of it, are going to win massively with these online lead tools, whether that's Google, Facebook, Zillow, Realtor.com. In that case, it doesn't really matter. The ISA is there to maximize that investment.
Now, here's another thing about ISAs too, Gus, is that they will not stop or quit until the lead says, leave me alone, or I am not interested in buying. It was just something I'm browsing. Even if they say I'm browsing, the ISA's job is to do what it takes to convert them. If not now, nurture it, call back in about a week, 2 weeks. That's exactly the system that we've created here on our team as well, Gus, is that, we are very, very focused, hyper-focused on what the conversation looks like and sounds like, because I've written the ISA course as well. But I really stay focused on making sure the conversation, the conversion of that particular lead is to the point of, main important thing is what are the key questions that the ISAs are asking, right, Gus? So that is what your company has trained these, and that's PowerISA. You've trained these ISAs in really, and you take 30 days to train them. Like, I am wowed by that. That is so awesome that you take the time to make sure you listen to their conversations, you listen how they're converting, and that is phenomenal that you do. And again, everyone that has joined us here, LCA's PowerISA special deal right now exclusively, of course, for our LCA members is $100 per month off per month for their dedicated ISA plans, $1 off on cost per lead for both calling intensive and starter plans. You guys, please visit PowerISA. The link is right there on our chat. I know that Brett, you said you missed some keywords. Basically, in the title, the keywords would be, homes for sale, Parkmont.
Starting. That's a really big keyword that I would use, Brett. Homes, La Mesa homes starting at $589,000. I wouldn't even use $600,000. I just go find your best price listing in the market, find it. It could be a condominium, right? La Mesa homes starting, it's $589,000. and you will be surprised at the kind of results you're going to get. The simplicity of that offer, the directness of it.
Keep it simple.
Send them to the landing page, the homes list, and get their information, right? Make sure you're always capturing their information. Facebook's going to capture it. Your listing site should also capture it after the shoot. Like forced registration should capture it. Make sure you're getting all that information 100%, right? One of the things that we do, and again, everyone can decide how they want to do this, Yankee. We do not send them the homes list if we don't talk to them.
Exactly.
Period, end story.
Oh my God, yes.
Do not. You know,
Yes.
we don't. Other realtors, you know, you can ask 2 realtors and get 5 answers to that. The way you're going to get 30% conversion is if you actually want to talk to them, see what they want. What are their needs? What's their budget, right? What is actually, yeah, you can get that list. That's a generic list. I really want to talk to you, Yankee. You know, I'd say you're the lead to figure out how to best meet your needs. Do you have 30 seconds to jump on a quick call if we're texting, right? Make sure I get all the information and we can find you the perfect property. How does that sound? Something like that, right? So you got to make sure you're coming from value.
Yeah, I think it's very important, you know, what conversations you guys have with them. I think it's very important, and that is ISA's role right there. What are the key questions they're asking, like we've repeatedly said in this conversation? Also, another thing is I wanted to make a quick announcement really quickly is that if you need to go and if you've missed anything here, we have all our recordings on LCA, Lab Coat Agents YouTube channel. So please do not forget, you know, to subscribe obviously over there, but also make sure that if you missed anything, you can definitely hear this recording later if you have to go as well. You will not feel that you missed anything. Really great information. I love it. Gus, tell us a little bit more about, you know, the other campaigns we've got.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, and that's, I want to go into more detail on the commonalities of them, because this is actually the first time in a long time that they're all the exact same type of campaign. They're all homes list campaigns. They're all homes list campaigns, and they're advertising specific homes starting at a particular price for your area. Another common thread, Yankee, another common thread that all of these campaigns, the top 10, all of the top 10 share, not even the top 3, the top 10, is that they use a technique called long form leads. And I've, you know, if you've been on my other webinars, you know that I beat this drum every single time I'm on here. If you do not know what long form Facebook leads are, you have to learn what long form Facebook leads are. It will change your life. What does long form mean? It means you're not just, so some people don't even know this, that if you just go with the standard, easy to set up Facebook ad for real estate, it'll give you something like an instant response, an instant fill out, right? And I forget what the actual term is, but if you click on that button and you've clicked on the ad and your information's out of there, you don't even have to confirm it sometimes, right? You just that's boom. You don't enter your phone number, you don't enter your email. It's already in Facebook for the most part. It just gets sent. You might not even notice you clicked on the ad. This is a really common complaint, right? So Facebook is maximizing for getting as many people through the door as possible. Unless you tell Facebook to do this, they want to maximize for leads. Get as many leads in there, even if they're unqualified. You said you wanted leads, Gus. Here you go, buddy. All the leads you can handle. But a lot of those folks are going to be unqualified. That's the reality. If you want to optimize for more qualified leads, which let me tell you, folks, this is what you really want, right? And this can be very counterintuitive, Yankee, because you're literally saying, I want less leads. I don't want more leads, right? I'm spending $500 a month or $20 a day, whatever it is, $10 a day, $20 a day on these ads. I want as many leads as you can get. You actually don't. And I know that sounds weird. You don't want as many leads as you can get, because Facebook will do everything in its power to send you people that are even outside your area, people that click by mistake.
Yes.
We'll send you anything and anyone if you want anything and anyone, right? So you actually don't want that, because what happens, you get saturated, you get 10 leads the first day, you're not able to call everybody. And most importantly, you're not able to call them the amount of times you need to call them to get them to convert. That's the biggest issue. And a lot of these flakier leads, you're going to be calling and calling, and they're never going to pick up. And if they pick up, they're going to go, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't click on that ad. What's going on? Agents get discouraged because of that, and they give up on Facebook. Right. That's what typically happens. And that is a too many leads problem. Too many leads problem. You want less leads. You want them more qualified. What does that mean? You want to put some friction between when they click on the ad and when they come through to your inbox, to your CRM. You need to put some friction in there, right? You can put some questions in the Facebook ad itself, right? Some specific questions. Facebook can agree or disagree on what kind of questions you put in there, or you can send them to a landing page. These are very simple to set up, folks. Do not be intimidated by setting up a landing page, because the only thing this landing page is a questionnaire. That's all it is. And you want to ask them 5, 10, I've seen up to 15 questions in some of these questionnaires, Yankee. You're asking them, what's your time frame? Do you have a home to sell? Are you pre-qualified? What's your credit score range? The lenders love asking this question. What's your credit score range? You don't want to know the actual score. That's a little bit too much information. But what's your credit score range? Or do you at least have a credit score that's at least this amount, right? You want to ask them all of these, what kind of property are you looking for? You want to ask them all these questions, not because that information is unbelievably important, but it's the person that takes the time to fill that out is a more qualified lead.
Right. So here,
fill it out.
Right. So Gus, a couple of things I want to talk about. We talked about this is about 3 ad campaigns, right? One, we talked about the short tail. We talked about, specific starting pricing, blah, blah, blah. Then we talked about long form leads or, long tail keywords. Give us an example of that. What should the title of the ad be? What do you mean by long form?
Oh, great. So when I talk about long form leads, this is no longer talking about the ad. The ad is home starting at 600,000. That's the ad.
Okay.
The long form is just about the questionnaire. This is a scrubbed lead. You're putting some friction between the lead ad itself and when that lead gets to your inbox. You don't want anyone and anything that can click on the ad. You actually don't want that. You want some friction in between. So the ad is the same, Anki. There's a middle process there. It does not go directly to you. So I'll give you an example. You can run an ad. I can run an ad in Seattle. I can generate leads, buyer leads in Seattle for maybe $3 or $4 a lead. It's a little bit pricier than some markets, $3 or $4 a lead. I spend $30, $40, $50 at a pop. I'm going to get 20 leads. I can bump it up and get 30 leads, 40 leads off just by a relatively small amount spent, right? Less than $100. Boom, I've got 50 leads. A lot of those leads are not going to pick up the phone ever, right? That's the reality. We've measured this. 90% are not going to actually going to want to even speak to you at the moment, right? 90%. That's great. That's all right. If I had a questionnaire, I convert this to a long form lead, right? Mm-hmm. I'm going to get less leads. That's just a given. I'm still going to spend $100, but instead of generating 50 leads, I might generate 25 leads. I might generate 30 leads only because less of them are going to jump through those hoops. But what's going to happen on the back end? I'm suddenly going to get more responses. I'm going to set triple the appointments that I would have set otherwise. And it's not just important for the conversion rate, it's your own patience. I mean, folks, do not underestimate how much work it is to follow up and call and dial and text these leads. Do not underestimate it. The easier you make it on yourself, the more likely you are to actually carry out some of these follow-up plans. So, and that's the last thing I want to touch on, Yankee. I'm saving that for my back pocket. What the follow-up plan, what we recommend for follow-up plans. But that long form thing, I really want to stress it. It's important. It works. Look it up, study it, learn it. Long form, and this is what the professional marketers do. The marketing agencies, they understand long form leads forwards and backwards. They use them at 100%. You should use them too. You should learn how to use them. It's not an unbelievably complicated piece of the puzzle, but I tell you, if you want to get 25, 30, 35% conversion rate, it has to be a long form lead because those are going to be the most responsive and they're going to be the most qualified leads you're going to get.
Wow, this is so informative, you guys. I mean, like I said, PowerISA Gus, special offer exclusive for LCA members. Please, please, please look at click on the link that is there, powerisa.com/LCA. We've got some great deals for you guys, $100 off per month for their dedicated and, for the dedicated ISA and startup plans, which is awesome that you're doing this. Thank you so much. We also have a few questions in the Facebook Live, which Tessa is just sending me. Can an ISA call my CRM? And can they also help me with other admin tasks? Great question, by the way.
Yeah, that is a really good question. So when it comes to calling tasks, the answer is yes, right? Yep. So the answer is yes. So when you see an ISA in the team that is being maximized, we're talking a lot about the new leads, right? In this whole webinar, we're talking about ad campaigns and the leads that are coming in fresh. Those are always going to convert at the highest rate. Those are always going to be the highest converting leads. But even a busy ISA is going to get maybe 10, 20 of those a day, right? So on an 8-hour shift, 9-hour shift, they're going to have, 20 leads is not going to take you all day to call, right? Even if you're calling all of them multiple times, it's not going to take you all day to call. So usually the way we organize an ISA's job is, okay, new leads are the first priority. So it's like Yankee said, speed to lead, man. That's it. That's the game. You're here to guarantee speed to lead. That's the ISA's job, right? So you wanted to jump on those new leads as soon as possible, but that's not the only activity they do. They're doing follow-ups for those new leads. The leads that came in yesterday, the day before, the week before. And if you extend that far enough out, they're calling in everyone in your database, right? You might have gotten a lead in your database 6 months ago, a year ago. Their ISA is following up with those, right? And if you organize your CRM the right way, and this is actually part of our onboarding process. We want to make sure when someone comes and joins, hires PowerISA, we have an onboarding process that goes in and says, okay, what do you have? You have a CRM. You'd be surprised. Some agents don't have a CRM. That's fine. We have to know where we're at and adapt the ISA to your system and your needs. And we can make recommendations. You go, hey, you need a CRM. Like, this is necessary. This is not like an if and or buts. You need a CRM to make this work. And you need to make sure you're generating new leads in these ways to make your ISA more successful.
They're not only calling you CRM. Let me tell you something else also. They're also calling, your other sources that you have, whether it's Zillow leads, if they're not in the CRM, they also do circle prospecting. Right? We just listed, we just sold, we just went pending, hey, we have multiple offers. Who do you know that's looking to sell in your area? They do some amazing call circle prospecting calls as well. Of course, that is a different system that you might have, or, whichever, they do it all. From cold leads to, bad leads. Now, I know somebody had asked about protocol or compliance. Please talk a little bit about compliance. How do you ensure that the ISA stays within limits? I think they do have some protocols, correct, Gus? If we can touch.
Yeah, and this is going to vary a little bit by every state. So the ISA, the ones that I'm talking about PowerISA now. Other companies might handle this differently. Our ISAs work for you guys as unlicensed assistants. That is the model that we use. That is the way they can work. And every single state handles the unlicensed assistant question a little bit differently. And some of them, they can't call leads, like in general. They can't set appointments at all. In some states, they can set appointments, but they can't really go into like deals, commissions, sales terms, contract, anything like that. Okay, great. And in some states, if this is going to sound crazy, it's somewhere in between. It's not, it's hard to get people to agree on what exactly the statute says. So we don't get into that. This is how our folks are provided as unlicensed assistants. You tell us, what you want them to do, and make sure that the compliance it can definitely be an issue. There's other compliance issues like do not call list. You got to be very careful with that. And that really mostly applies to outbound prospecting. When the lead opts into your form and they give you their information, you have permission to call them and text them, right? As long as you're asking for that in that opt-in form, you're in the clear. It's the outbound prospecting you really have to be careful with issues like do not call list and the dialer and all that fun stuff. That is a little more of a subset. For the stuff we're talking about today, Facebook campaigns, we call, like I said, 100. We have converted and called probably on the order of 200,000 to 300,000 leads for Facebook, and for clients, right? Hundreds of thousands. We have never had one do not call list complaint in calling 300,000 leads. So trust me when I tell you, that's not where you're going to trip up on the compliance side for Facebook. If you're doing it properly, you're not going to have an issue with that. It is outbound prospecting is where 99.9% of the compliance issues come into play. So that's where it can get really interesting.
That's where, you have to be careful. And again, I always say, check with your states and, compliance, and check with your board, and then let your team ISA know. Judy had just texted, and then we have another question also. We have two questions here. Edward has asked, do you need to provide numbers for circle prospecting? I think you do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah. So the ISA is there. The ISA is trained. They know what to do. The teams, the campaigns, they can provide the dialer. They have to provide the phone numbers as well. We execute. The ISA is the person that executes the plan. You have to have. There's some items that you can provide some items, but typically the calling list the clients provide. So the campaign provides the list, whether that's your CRM, right? Calling your CRM, whether that's brand new leads, or that's like a calling list, because we also call, for example, rentals, right? In some of these markets, the ISAs are calling your rentals. Why? Because if it's a mom and pop rental, guess what? They might be interested in selling right now, right? They might be interesting, or if they're like an investor. This is a great idea for people that are looking for listings and that are willing to call multifamily, but small multifamily, 1 to 4 units. 1 to 4 units is like a home. Usually it's owned by like an individual, right? It's just another person like you that maybe owns a duplex or a fourplex. They might not be interested in selling, but they want to buy, right? Oh, you know what? I want to buy another fourplex. Now's the time. Money's cheap. Let me get more of these investor properties out there. ISAs call them the rental listings, because you're probably going to talk to the owner on some of these rental listings. And that's a good conversation to start, because, hey, do they want to sell? Oh, I'm not really interested in selling. Well, do you want to grow your portfolio? We might have some properties that you might interest. Oh, I do. Oh, send me that, right? So that's a great conversation to have with an investor. That's an idea. People haven't called those guys yet. Exactly. But that's what the ISAs can do, all those things. ISAs can do all those things.
Now, Judy has a couple of questions. Are ISAs my employee? No, I don't think so. Nope. Or am I just paying your company as a monthly expense?
You're paying PowerISA, and we handle the personnel issues. We do payroll, taxes, health benefits. We pay pension. We pay all these things for them. You know, we even do like yoga classes and meditation classes. You know, it's hard. You guys have issues retaining employees in the U.S. We have issues retaining employees everywhere, right? Like, you gotta really. Top talent is pampered. Top talent wants perks. So we have to play that game too.
Absolutely, and I love that. Who is responsible for the DNC list, PowerISA, or do I supply that list?
PowerISA does not scrub lists. So the easiest way to scrub any kind of list, like an outbound list, is whoever you bought the list from typically has an out. And I'm talking about the Coal Information Services, Mojo, RedX, the pros. You know, I know RedX is a partner of LCA. The pros will do this for you. They'll tag them as DNC, and you can actually put them out pretty easily.
Yeah, and I personally have RedX, and they have all of that set in. They do all the scrubbing and all that good stuff. So they're really, really good at that. And I will be doing another webinar with RedX as well. So that's exciting.
Yeah, love those guys.
They're awesome. What more can you share with us? We've got a few more minutes, Gus. Let's talk last and final. Share give us 1 or 2 takeaways from this.
Yeah, so I mean, for folks that want to get the most out of Facebook, like I said, try these ad ideas. Try the simplicity in your ad. Do not overthink it. Put it out there. And again, make sure you're always you have a plan to follow up with these leads. And I was saving this for the end. We make sure that we're contacting brand new Facebook leads 3 attempts the first day. 3 attempts the first day. 2 calls, 1 text message, right? And yes, though, that's great. You want to do it. You want to make sure you're touching them at least 7 times within the first 7 days, right? 7 times within the first 7 days. Gus, why isn't it 5 times a day? Because you don't want them to block you. You don't want them to put your number on as a spam call, right? So if you are too aggressive with these leads, this is 2021. They're going to tag your phone number as a spam number, and then no one's going to get your calls. Exactly. You really want to be careful how you follow up with these leads. This is not 2019. This is not 2015 anymore. I could call a lead 10 times a day. Not that we did that, but you could the unscrupulous telemarketers should get away with that. 2021, the technology is unbelievably advanced and good. You cannot be too aggressive, too pesky. 7 touches in 7 days is going to get you the result that we saw for these campaigns that are conversion rates that are up to 30%. 7, folks, that's what you need. 7 touches in 7 days, and half of those we do as phone calls. Right. Half of them we can do as phone calls.
And like I said, that's a secret formula right there. Bam, we did it. Just a quick update, you guys, please, if you're interested, PowerISA.com/LCA is the place you need to go to. And once again, check out PowerISA special offers. It's right there. It is $100 off per month on their dedicated and smart plans, $1 off on cost per lead for both calling intensive and startup plans again. $500 off their new build your own ISA training program. So these are amazing discounts that you're offering. Thank you, Gus. We really appreciate your time. And like I said, guys, PowerISA.com/LCA is the place to go to. And if you did have to miss this or need a friend to watch this and all these keywords and all of this good ad campaign for Facebook, so you guys, for Facebook, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel, LCA YouTube channel, and that's where all of this recording will be. Anything else we need to share, Gus?
That is pretty much it. Reach out to us, powerisa.com/LCA. You'll see all our offerings. We have dedicated ISA, like the stuff you signed up for, Yankee. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
You're a client now. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Also, our pay-per-lead offering. If you don't have that many leads coming in, use one of our pay-per-lead offerings, right? You just pay a flat fee per lead, and we can follow up for 3 months or 12 months, whatever suits you best. And our third offering, like you mentioned, Yankee, is that course. If you want to go it on your own, build a team from scratch and manage it all in-house, get our ISA training course, build your ISA, and you can get a great deal on that too.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for your time, Gus, as always. And I am personally excited to share my reviews of PowerISA, hopefully next time. But again, thank you so much, everyone who joined us. And again, thanks, Gus. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.